Why scientific disciplined thinking helps me to feel calm? The short answer is this form of thinking seems to be the most reliable way at the moment to to assess and verify if any specific idea or a phenomenon may be true. And I believe one value of this scientific discipline or thinking is that they approach finding answers in a very structured way. And for example, um, let's say we are studying or trying to prove that gravity exists. So one approach that scientists may take um, is to first have some kind of belief or some kind of theory. So for example, gravity is a downward force that is active on Earth all of the time, and the next step would be to construct some kind of experiment to prove whether that is true or not. And I believe the scientific discipline goes beyond just setting up experiments. So one habit that I do that seems to align very much to this scientific discipline's thinking is trying to build a strong understanding of something with as much information as possible. So gathering evidence and details to help me understand, is this specific idea true or not. And this includes things like anecdotal evidence, where this is a form of evidence that is not as strong as experimental evidence, and clearly documented findings about specific tests. But there is still value to this anecdotal evidence. And before I forget, I want to mention that I think this science, while this discipline's thinking is focused on science and does seem to be very helpful in the world of science, I believe we could apply this kind of thinking to anything else. So, for example, we could probably apply, or I believe we can apply bits of this to other things, like maybe relationships between people, and just generally assessing small or just any specific idea that may arise through some conversation that is unrelated to scientists, or unrelated to science, and not necessarily scientific in nature. And one typical approach that I have to conversations when I am exploring a new idea or concepts that people raise during their conversation is, I would first be curious. So I think my thought process is roughly, if there is new information or a new idea that presents itself, I want to test the strength of that theory or that idea. And the first step, for me, which is a habit or my own personal exercise, is to first gather as much memories and knowledge I have that may support or disprove that idea. And if that idea cannot be maintained under all circumstances, or in other words, if all it takes is one example to prove an idea wrong, then this is reasonable to assume that the idea itself is not a very not a very supported and not a very true idea. So that is kind of one step, or one quality gate that my brain just instinctively tries to explore. And the next step would kind of be anecdotal evidence. So for example, if we are talking about the introvert versus the extrovert personality type, I like to gather my memories of how other people describe their own experiences with this introversion versus extroversion gradient. And because this part of a human psychology has not been either documented very well, or maybe most people have a simplified understanding of what this personality types mean, then this is a gray enough area where possibly anecdotal evidence is the best evidence that we have. And not only do I consider what evidence I have of this type that may support or disprove what introversion or extroversion is, I also look for patterns in data. And I believe we are unlikely to encounter any kind of coincidence between a theory or an idea with anecdotal evidence if there is patterns among this evidence that help prove that is true. So I think patterns are one form of supporting evidence for any idea or a concept. And if these patterns emerge under any kind of circumstance or under any kind of environment, then this can help to prove that something is or is not true. So that is kind of like a structured way of thinking that I use to help me understand what may be true. And I am suddenly realizing that I am probably went off on a big tangent. So to help circle back and answer this question, why this kind of structured thinking helps me to feel calm, is that the short answer is this provides me a way to explore and verify the information that I hear, and having knowledge helps me to feel calm, because having an accurate understanding of how various things work, no matter how complex, helps improve my ability to work more easily with these ideas and concepts, and that generally helps me feel calm, because I prefer to minimize the amount and to reduce the intensity of challenges that I experience that I experience in life. So if having clear knowledge or having having quality knowledge with clear understandings helps me to interact with this world more easily, and helps me make better decisions when I need to consider complex information. Um, so that's the short answer. I might just talk slightly more about what I think scientific disciplines thinking means, and why this is a value for all people. So, to try and return to where I was last talking about. So when I notice patterns in anecdotal evidence, that helps me to apply this structured thinking to help me verify if something might be true, and I have faith that this way of thinking does does more often than not does provide more answers, or brings us closer to answers for various things. And one thing that I like about my understanding of scientific thinking is that I believe the best practice for scientific minds is to be skeptical about most or all things. So this means that any new idea or theory that presents itself, the best practice is to not blindly believe that is true, and to gather and to consider evidence to help give us a clearer understanding which parts of that idea may or may not be true. So I believe best practice with science is to encourage this structured process of dis, discovering more information, testing these ideas, and helping to give us a clearer answer from gray or unknown to having clearer understandings. And another reason why I like this skeptical way of thinking, because this is like saying we are or good scientists are unlikely to believe something unless there is a strong enough supporting evidence. But we are also willing to accept that our current beliefs might be wrong, and that is okay too. So my understanding of the best practice scientific mind vaguely suggests they are open-minded people as well, or at least the ideal scientific mind is very open-minded. So long story short about this part, yes, being skeptical is good, because this encourages seeking more answers and more evidence to explain the unknown, and also being willing to accept that even years of studied and documented evidence for previous or current phenomena can be disproved if new evidence presents itself. So there seems to be a healthy balance of skepticism, seeking answers, and respecting that we are not always correct, and allowing room to grow and to update our understanding to incorporate the more true and more complex data, if that makes sense. So I like that sort of I'm thinking, and I believe I am actively engaged in that kind of thinking. Not just in places where science is clearly used. And to be fair, um, I don't think I practiced the same kind of science that I did back in high school and university that often. But although maybe my current full-time job is having me practice this more scientific thinking, but my main point was to express I'm not the a type of person who would just spend all of my spare time just passionately engaging in scientific thinking that helps to explain various phenomena or theories. Just more that I I I seem to have I seem to have a habit of a very structured form of thinking that I apply to many things, even outside science, and this seems very close to my understanding of the scientific disciplined thinking. So I think there are valuable applications to applying science or this scientific thinking even outside the fields of science. So, for example, applying this structured scientific rigor to medicine or to maybe other things maybe even in places where that there is a gray area between art and science, and more specifically, I was referring to game design, because game design, which I've heard described by other people, is in a gray area between art and science, which I agree with, because that aligns with my understanding that you have the unpredictability of art and creativity, but you also have the technologies and scientific structures that you can add to your game design and game development process, and that also relates to I guess computer science as well, where I'm finding structured ways to process data and to understand how systems and the software and game experiences work. But I might be going on too much of a tangent now, but yes, I will try to return to the topic of this video. So long story short, I believe why scientific disciplines thinking helps me to feel calm is that to date, and maybe even far reaching into the future, this form of structured thinking seems to be the best way to try and find answers to the unknown, and and um, and for me personally, having improved knowledge, having improved understanding, just can help to simplify my own life, and help me to even achieve greater joy and happiness, because with a structured process to find answers, I'm helping to test and prove what is and is not true, and how things work in a very clearly specific and even documented way, helps me to interact with this world more easily, and science can, or this thinking can be applied to I believe more things than just strictly scientific phenomena, and and I believe this way of thinking can help more people, and I mean can help all people, because if we all suddenly decided to have this structured thinking where we go, I've just heard something new. Let me double check that with my understanding. Let's ask questions to see if there is a mutual understanding, and if neither of us have answers, maybe we can explore this with a slightly more depth through discussion. So yeah, I think this thinking is interesting and valuable, and the person that I spoke with that inspired this drive of mine to create this YouTube video on this topic. I heard a funny comments that I might not be doing that comment justice if I did not read call correctly, but the comments was a half joke, scientific thinking is teaching people how to scientific or science tries to teach people how to think like autistic people, and that vaguely aligns with my experience and understanding, because I naturally and have this structured thinking, and I did not realize until I had this conversation with this person that somehow my thinking was like I was born with a scientific disciplines mind, if that makes sense. And slightly related to this thinking, one of my personal values is to never assume anything, because often ideas and concepts and things are very complex in nature, and by extension, I also make sure I never judge anything, because until I have more information, then it would not be reasonable to quickly assume how a thing or an idea or how people work. So my typical habit is as I have described with the scientific disciplines thinking, is to gather evidence, find patterns in data, and I don't really go doing deep research about specific topics like human psychology and all, and I do acknowledge that I may not be correct, or I do accept the risk that my lack of research can make me incorrect about specific ideas, but that is a risk that I do accept, and with my unwillingness and my capacity with pursuing specific topics, I often lean very heavy on the anecdotal evidence. So I try gathering several memories of what I have experienced, and including what other people describe about various things, and I am actively think about at times how specific ideas may or may not stand strong under specific conditions. So while I don't always go into 100% like a scientific disciplines mode, even a lighter version of this I believe does help with various things, or like various conversations I have had. And I'm not saying that scientific thinking is imperfect either. So maybe one day in the future, people might develop and maintain a way of finding answers to complex problems, or to unknowns, in a way that is more structured and more unreliable than scientific thinking, as I have described. But until then, this seems to be the best at the moment, based on my current understanding. Yeah, I think I might have just lost my train of thought. But kind of long story short, scientific disciplines thinking is calming to me. This is a structured way to help me find answers. I believe if all people engaged in this kind of thinking, we may have much better conversations, where people are highly mutually curious, and not afraid to challenge each other's ideas, or find patterns that suggest areas of improvement about various things. So yeah, just I am not sure at the moment what else to say about this topic, but I thought this was interesting enough to capture in a YouTube video. And maybe this topic doesn't get talked about enough. I am not sure, but for now, just in case this hasn't been talked about in this kind of detail, I just thought, I just wanted to share that I have this specific understanding about scientific disciplines thinking, which seems to be related to reliably finding answers, while being open-minded, and seems to be related to neurodivergent minds as well. So yeah, just a complex package of information, personal interest, and something to share that other people might find helpful as well. Um, okay, my ranting should be finished for now, and thanks for watching.